Good morning, friends. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about percent applications. So before we do that, I'm going to do a little review on how you change fractions to decimals and decimals to percents. So there is one video posted, and that's by our district secondary specialist. But I know you're used to hearing my voice, so I also wanted to do a video just in case you wanted to hear my wonderful voice teaching you as well. So let's just start off with a fraction that's not a benchmark fraction, and just go over how do you change just a fraction to a decimal, and then how do you change that to a percent. So if I started with a fraction that was 6/7, and I said, what is the decimal for that? Well, we know that's my numerator, that's my denominator. So I always say top in, bottom out. So there's always three ways to write a division problem. This is one way. I could write 6 divided by 7, and I can write 6 divided by 7. This is the way we turn it into a decimal. So I'm going to do 6 divided by 7, add my two decimal places, bring my decimal straight up. I know my multiples of 7. I know it does not go in. If I have 6 wholes, I can't share it with 7 people, but if I have 60 tenths, I can share it. 8 times 56. 4, bring down, and that goes in 5, 35. I can add one more 0 just to see if I can get it to go away, and it does not look like I can. So it looks like I'm going to just have to keep going. So I'm going to round it to my hundredths place. So I'm going to say 6/7 rounds to approximately 86 hundredths. So 6/7 is equal to approximately 86 hundredths, which is approximately 86%. So that's how you change a fraction to a decimal and a decimal to the percent. If it's already in hundredths, all you do is just put the percentage sign. If I'm given a percent, so let's say I'm given, I'll go ahead and put this page. Let's say I'm given the percent 43%. All I do is it's 43 out of 100, because remember all percentages are out of 100%. 43 is equal to 43 hundredths. When I say it out loud, you can hear that fraction. So 43 hundredths makes that fraction. So you take the percentage to a decimal, and the decimal to a fraction. So that's just a quick review on fraction, decimal, percent. Now let's go to the types of problems you're going to encounter this week. Again, nothing new, but it is something that we did struggle with in class, which was percent over 100 and part over whole. As long as you consistently set it up that way, though, we didn't have many problems with it, so make sure that you continue to set it up that way. Okay, so my question says, when Carmen sells a house, she receives 6% of the sale price of the house as commission. What will be her commission if she sells a house for $150,000? So my first thing I need to do is always write exactly what my proportion is going to be. Sorry, I thought someone was coming. That's why Miss Garza is looking awkwardly to the side to see who's coming. So, I'm always going to start with part over whole, or you can put total, equals percent over 100. I could also write percent over 100 equals part over whole. Either one of those work because they're both just two equivalent fractions to each other. So, what will be her commission if she sells the house for $150,000? So, what I know, this is the whole. It gives me the percent. So, I know the whole, $150,000 over 100. I know the percent, 6%. It wants to know what will be her commission. So that's her part. So this is a part unknown. You will encounter that today. There is a, or whenever you do that assignment, there is a part unknown type of problem. So if you're confused on how to set it up, refer back to this video. So my part unknown right here. So two different things I could do. The first thing I'm looking at right now is 100 does work well with 150,000. Or I notice that these two are both even. So I could simplify first. Miss Garza always goes with the simplifying first because it always makes it a little bit easier to solve that type of problem. So both of those are even, which means it is divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 and 100 divided by 2 is 3/50 is now equal to x over 150,000. So now I need to see what is my relationship here and here. How did I get from 50 to 150,000? And then whatever that is from here to here is the same thing I'm going to do here to here. Remember, it's just an equivalent fraction to each other. Just as if 1/2 is equal to 5/10, 3/50 is going to be equal to something over 150,000. So I can do 150,000 divided by 50, or what times 50 gives me 150,000? Well, this looks like a whole bunch of numbers. Well, let's make it look a little easier. What times 5 gives me 15? 3. And then a whole bunch of zeros. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 with 4 zeros after it is 3. Not 4 zeros after it. 1, 2, 3, because there's that 0 and there's that 0. So 1, 2, 3. So 50 times 3,000 is equal to 150,000. So 3 times 3,000 is 9,000. So 6% is $9,000. So her commission off of a $150,000 house is $9,000. So that's how you would solve a part unknown. Let's look at a percent unknown. There are 150 cookies and 80 brownies on a dessert table at a restaurant. Of those desserts, 12 cookies and 24 brownies contain nuts. What percentage of these desserts contain nuts? It asks specifically for percentage. So it's a percent unknown. Again, set up my proportion. could write it either way. They both equal each other. And then I'm just going to plug in what I know. There's a whole bunch of numbers given here, but I just need to figure out what exactly I know. I know that there's some desserts, and some of the desserts contain nuts. So how many total desserts do I have? Well, I have 100 cookies and 80 brownies. So together, that is 100 plus 80 equals 180 desserts. That is my total number of desserts. 180 desserts is my total. And I know that some of them contain nuts. That's my part. 12 plus 24 equals 36. So 36 of them is the parts. I'm looking for my percent over 100. First things first, does something look like it needs to be simplified? I would say so. I would say that 36 over 180 is just begging to be simplified over there. We could go by 2's over and over and over and over again, but Ms. Garza knows that both of those share a common factor of 18. How do I know that? Because 18 times 2 equals 36. So, if I divided both of them by 18, divided by 18, now you could divide both of them by 2, and that would be perfectly fine. You're just going to have to do it more than I'm going to have to do it. So if you want to divide it by 2 and keep going, you divide it by 2. I'm going to divide it by 18 because it goes faster. So 36 divided by 18 is 2. And 180 divided by 18 is 10. So percent over 100 is equal to 2/10. So, looky what I got. How did I get from 100 to 10, or 10 to 100? 10 times 10 is 100. So, a little bit walked in. So 10 times 10 is 100. So 2 times 10 is 20%. So that would be answer choice C. So 20% of the desserts contained nuts, and 80% of them did not. And then last but not least, so we've done one that was the part unknown. We did one that was the percent unknown. So this one is the whole unknown. And it's a griddable. Even better. So we don't have any answer choices to choose from. So last year, 60% of the runners who competed in a Labor Day race finished in an hour or less. There were 285 who finished in an hour or less. How many runners competed in the Labor Day race? So, first up, part over whole equals percent over 100, or percent over 100 equals, that's a good word, equals part over whole. So, I'm looking for how many runners competed in the race. So, whole unknown or total unknown. So, I'm giving my percentage 60% out of 100%. Well, that automatically simplifies to 6/10 or 3/5 equals 285 of them finished in an hour or less. How many total were there? So let's go ahead and simplify the 60 over 100, which is 6/10 or 3/5 is equal to 285 over something. So I need to figure out what times 3 gives me 285. That one I don't know off the top of my head. So I'm going to have to do the math to figure it out. So even the math teacher has to do the math sometimes to figure it out. So not everything just comes out of my head very easily. I still have to do my numbers as well. Luckily, I can still divide. So I have 200s. I know I can't share them with 3 people, but I can share 28 tens with 3 people. I can give everybody 9. And then 5. So 95. So 3 times 95 is 285. And then 95 times 5. Again, I could have used my calculator, but what fun is that? I would have gotten to spend less time with you. That's not fun. So 45, 46, 47. So 5 times 95 is 475. That is a positive integer, so I'm going to make sure I bubble in the positive. So there were 475 runners who competed in the Labor Day race. So a positive 475 or 75, 0, 0. Okay, so we first did fraction, decimal, percent. Then we did a part unknown, a percent unknown, and a whole unknown. So, again, you have 3 days to complete that Google activity. Hopefully, they should not be too difficult. Again, let me know if you have any other questions. Bye, guys.